Welcome everybody to more Myst Mondays, and this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we are going to continue on to the second game in the series, Riven, also created by the same developers as the first game, Myst, and I dare say it's actually a thousand times better than the first game by far. Instead of a whole bunch of micro puzzles centered around specific ages, it's like the entire world is one big macro puzzle, and you have to understand it to solve it. Let's see here. Let's start this game. But yeah, this is my favorite Myst game out of all of them, followed shortly behind by Exile, the third game. I really enjoy what they try to do here. They took what they had accomplished in Myst and expanded upon it and broadened the canvas. And I like the new cyan logo here and how it intermingles some of the new music soundtrack you'll be hearing throughout the game. Give you a couple thematic themes here. And a big story point's going to be coming up. You're going to be seeing Atris again, and he's going to explain pretty much your entire mission as to why you're going to this new age of Riven and who you'll be facing against. So we're going to just be quiet for a little bit and let him do the talking.
Thank God you've returned. I need your help. There's a great deal of history that you should know, but I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden. For all reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out. But I can give you this. It appears to be a linking book back here to Dunny. But it's actually a one-man prison. You'll need it, I'm afraid, to capture Gan. Once you've found Catherine, signal me, and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back. There's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
Woohoo! And so we begin. Good on Rand Miller, one of the creators of the game, for reprising his role as Atris. And there's the logo, and why the image was so distorted is that there's something wrong with the structural fabric of this particular age that disables the clear view of the actual image in the book. And wow, that's awesome. We just started our quest and already we're behind bars. I was a little bit, I wouldn't say weirded out, but just kind of freaked out. Like, what, really? Is this how the game's gonna start? Anyway, we got this dude here which looks more like a guard than anything else.
Misirap, misirap. Mumiti ka bukuan ay. Misirap. Mumiti ka bukuan ay. Bukuan ay. Misirap. Bukuan ay. Bukuan. Bukuan ay. Bukuan ay.
So yeah, he just stole the trap book from us right off the bat. Didn't seem too mind it very much that he just insulted us, and he got shot in the neck with a poison dart or some such. Not entirely sure if it was poison or a sleeping dart, who knows, but either way, the result is the same. So we're basically just defenseless here, waiting to see how this whole scenario will play out. But something obviously attacked him, and we're about to see who or what it is. Okay, so it's clearly some sort of rebel faction, maybe? We're not entirely sure who's on our side and who's on Gen's side. But whoever this person is, they are releasing us and making sure that nobody else gets stuck behind bars. So that's handy. It's gonna help Atris when he links in here. Alright, and we're off. The first thing we might want to look at is, yeah. See that little dagger that he put down there? It's very symbolic. Now you have this little weird ice cream cone telescope, and nothing seems to actually activate. So there's a panel here which requires some sort of sequence lock. So there's not much you can do. There's the prison you were just in, and there's a bigger version of the small dagger he used to lock the prison open. Now, if you want to know where the guy is, he's down here. Wherever he's dead or not, I have no idea, but the guy just tossed him down the cliff. Well, no time like the present to figure out what Atris was talking about, so let's read his journal and figure out the backstory. Oh, okay, there we go. So you all can pause as usual and read the story, and I'll just filter through slowly through each of the pages, and when you're done you can continue on with the rest of the video. Okay, so we're basically coming here to trap Gen. And then so Atris can come in and save Catherine. Anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of macro puzzles for the entire game, but there are a couple micro puzzles where they don't extend outside of their spectrum of influence. Now you have these 5 beetles here on these pillars, and it shows depictions of things. Like this looks like Gen as he's depicting himself as a god to the people of this world. And then you have some gibberish on the wall. We're going to look at each of these and take a look at, I guess you could say, the story of the world. It looks like he also is depicting himself as a god as he's creating worlds and animals from his writings. So if you want to get a look into some of his mind and how he thinks of himself, you know, how these people are bowing down to the books he creates. So he thinks very highly of himself and his abilities. And you can kind of get a general idea of what he thinks of the people who live in this age. Now, it looks like here he has 5 major people who are following him, maybe elders or something, who are teaching the people about the books and stuff. So there might be a faction who is probably against us who follow Gen. So those should be people we should watch out for and try to avoid as best as possible, because they are not on our side. And then it looks like here, Atris, Gen has destroyed Atris. That's what he's depicting here to the people, whoever comes to this temple. So wherever he actually did that or not, who knows. But we really want to get through this door, this gated door. That's important. Now this is one of the macro puzzles, and you have to basically rotate the room multiple times, and flip switches and the like to ultimately solve the puzzle and be able to get through that grated door. And then, of course, you know, in between each of the actual entrances into the rotating chamber, you can actually look in through the peephole and see where all the door frames are. So this is what I was talking about, one of the micro puzzles that you'll be encountering, where it doesn't influence anything else on the island or on the other islands at all. It's just a one-shot puzzle, and once you've solved it, you're pretty much done with it for the rest of the game. So there is a trick to this puzzle that you don't realize right off the bat. And it's the one and single thing you need to figure out, or else you're never going to solve this. So yeah, you can go in, and now you can go out to this other side, but there's also a grated door, so you can't go there either. So now what do you do? Because flipping it a couple more times just puts the room openings in the same location. So you go to this area here, oh, other way, and you get to this locked gate, and you can't open it. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what to do. But if you look at that little dagger on the ground there, and you click it, you can go underneath the door. Now that, in my opinion, is kind of a bullcrap solution. I mean, seriously. Going underneath the door? That's really big. Yeah. So obviously, we look through, and we need to maneuver the room so that the opening, one of the openings, is opening into this cave here. So we need to go underneath the door again and rotate it one more time. Yeah, for the longest time, I could not figure out what to do with this particular puzzle. And it wasn't until I actually looked online, because I really couldn't figure out, that they said, oh yeah, just go underneath the door. You see the dagger on the ground? Yeah, that's supposed to be a hint that you need to look at it and then thus go underneath the door. And I'm like, really? How was I supposed to figure that out, that it was a hint for me to crawl underneath the door? I mean, the door is locked. I'm expecting to find a key to unlock it. So yeah, kind of ridiculous that. But, whatever. It's a simple enough puzzle once you get the idea. And you look at this, looks like this goes to the ice cream cone telescope. Yep, some steam going on. So let's turn the switch and stop the steam. And so I guess you're diverting power to the actual machine, because the steam is no longer being expelled. But that's not all you can do here. You see a little switch on the door here, the door frame? That opens up one of the grates. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they did this to save space on the disc. Originally, when this game was first released, it came out on 5 discs, and each of the 5 islands resided on 1 disc. And so I guess they were saving space, by having you not view the room rotating as you're facing the wall here. You're just waiting for the sound to end, and then you turn, and then, hey, look, it's in a new configuration. So I guess they just ran out of space and kind of conserved it by doing this. And here's another switch. Now it's time to rotate the room a couple more times. In the grand scheme of things, having a rotating room like this is not really practical. It seems more of a case of paranoia to me. Like, Gen is utterly just paranoid that people in this world will come across his secret, places and machines and contraptions, and he doesn't want anybody messing with them. So he devises and builds all these just completely impractical things, like a rotating frickin' room, so that nobody can figure out how the heck to get to the massive golden dome. And if you're not sure what the heck I'm talking about, you'll see it pretty soon here. It's one of the most obvious things you'd notice on this island. And just like that, you've solved the rotating room puzzle. All the trick was just crawling underneath that locked gate, and the rest pretty much solves itself. Kind of simple. But yes, this golden dome, pretty massive. There's multiple secrets to be had here, but this is the central, I guess you could say, power source for most of the 5 islands, actually. Everything seems to run to this particular, I guess you could say, structure. But what exactly do all these pipes go to? What exactly do all these pipes power? That is something that will have to be figured out later. Because right now, we don't know enough. Ah, it's a good thing I came here first, actually. Because it looks like these activate power to some sort of expandable or extendable bridges. So let's see, if you look up, yep, it'll lower that bridge once we get to the other side. But right now we can't access it. But it's a good thing we turned on the power right now. And since we're here, we might as well turn on the power to that bridge as well. There's no reason not to. And that's basically all that we can do in this area. Now, there is a elevator that I'm standing on right now, and there would be a switch right here in this little indentation. But it's not activated at the moment, so we're going to have to figure that out a little later. We don't have access to that elevator at this present juncture. And there's one last thing I'd like to show right before we head out of the Golden Dome. Yep, you're going to have to extend that catwalk at one point. But yes, you have a switch here. Did you see it? Did you notice it? And if you flip it, it actually elevates the bridge into some stairs that lead to an upper part of the dome. Now, obviously, there's no way we can walk all the way around to the other side and to climb the stairs. So we're going to have to find an alternative way after we open up, after we change them into stairs to go around into the rotating room and then walk up them. So right now, there's nothing left to do but change it back into a bridge and then continue on exploring the rest of the island. And just for your information, this island, the entirety of it is called Temple Island. And then you can see some interesting looking structures out in the water there. What the heck could they be for? There's a door to my left, but I'm going to skip it for now. We're going to continue on down this passage. We're going to open up what looks like a brick door. This looks like a very ominous temple of a sort, with a 5-pointed star. And you see these little effigies here with 5-pointed stars on top of their foreheads. Maybe look like tusks, and it looks like the people of the age were giving them offerings of food. Interesting. You want to get through this door here, but it's closed at the moment. But yeah, if you look over here, you can see the door was meant to blend in with the wall. Whoever came to worship at the temple, if they weren't, under Gen's personal, 5-person trust army, they would not know the secret passage that lay here. And you go to this spider-like cage. Kind of freaky. You press the button and it closes around you. And then if you flip this switch, you hear like a humming sound and what looks like ahead of you a microphone. So I don't know, but I have a freaky hunch that I am being projected like a hologram in the massive temple just down the passage. A little bit disconcerting, that. So you're kind of seeing the god tendencies again here, that he would sit back here and talk to the people in the temple using these monitors to view them. So you're kind of getting his mindset that I don't know if he truly believes he's a god, or if he's just playing at one so that he keeps the people of Riven in check. But either way, this room is clearly for show and to put fear in the hearts of those poor villagers of Riven. Okay, so you press this little blue button here, and there's nothing that really happens right away. And then you see a small little speck in the distance, and you're like, what the heck is that? Like, did you just see something? And then all of a sudden you hear the sound right before you see it. And when I first played this game, I was like, whoa, what is that? So it's almost like a magnetic air tram service that goes between the multiple islands, and I honestly say it's one of the coolest things in the game. At least, the first 2 or 3 times you go in it. But after a while, it quickly wears off its welcome, because it is I guess you could say, the sole transition point between the discs. Because if you recall what I said earlier, Riven was separated into 5 discs, and you travel in between the islands using these railways, and then that pretty much transitioned you into the next disc. So let's just sit back and enjoy the ride. It's pretty fun. I'd love to do this in real life. And so we end our first part of Riven, just as we're arriving onto the much larger island of, I think it's like Forest or Jungle Island or some such. But yeah, the main village of the islanders of Riven reside here. So we're going to explore that massive place in the next video. Until then, see you later.